And Phil Ivey may be the low man at the table, but don't forget, he's Phil Ivey.
I'm not like, oh wow, Antonio has chips. That's not even a thought that comes in my head.
This brown full ball.
I've been in situations like this before, and I've won before. I think I'll do it again.
Get a snooker back here.
4 players, 1 prize. I can't believe it's almost over. I'm getting emotional over here.
Yeah, someone's gonna be emotional when they win nearly $1 million.
Did you guys basically start playing poker at the same, age?
No, he started playing before me.
Well, I'm older than you by 2 years, right?
Let's play the brown to right
How
middle.
old were you when you started?
21.
No, I started when I was like 17.
I thought you were going to say 7.
No, I started around 17 years old.
For play money, I'm sure.
I got all the experience on him. Years of wisdom.
If you follow Daniel's tweets, you'll realize his wisdom is sporadic at best.
So as we rejoin the action, blinds are 10,000 and 20,000 with a 5,000 ante. It's been folded to Antonio on the button, who's got ace-4.
The ace is pump fake.
I don't
Good
know
enough
what
for
he played there,
Antonio.
but whatever it was.
That's a raise. Maria folds.
He butchered it, to be
Daniel,
honest.
Jack-7 suited, calls.
I can't believe it.
Yep.
You know, this is
What
the
a
kind of thing that
chance.
keeps women
Yeah,
away
don't.
from the game.
Heads up to the flop. Which gives Daniel second pair. Bottom pair for Antonio.
This is some classic Daniel versus Antonio.
Daniel has checked.
Too far, so you have to leave the pink into the left
Antonio
corner.
bets.
You can stun the
I'm
cue
kind
ball
of
with 2
surprised he
cushions.
continued when this board hits Daniel's range so hard, but make no mistake,
cue
he'd be
ball
much
towards the
happier with a
black.
fold here.
But there's so much pressure out there.
Daniel calls.
I do not think Antonio will bet again.
Turn card is a deuce.
So much
Doesn't
pressure
change
that
anything.
He didn't want to play a little soft screw. He wanted to screw off the cushion.
And the action goes check, check. We're going to the cage street.
All day today. He's
The
been
river
to overcutting.
It's a 5. The Daniel's got a lock on this.
And if he bets it, he'll definitely play the value card. If he gets
Technique.
called, it'll almost
The
always
alignment
be by a
holds
better
firm this
hand,
time.
so he can't afford to risk going to the cage.
There's the value card, followed by the bet.
That's a wonderful pot under pressure.
As it
Has
is,
he got
it is
in
the
the
best
black?
hand, and he probably won't.
Absolutely fabulous shot. But this
Because of the
black
cage, Antonio does have to
anything
think about
but
it.
easy.
His shot clock's running.
But like a guy coughing into a rag in a
Pace you wanna
zombie
play this
movie,
at.
Daniel's
Very
always
slow,
got
you
it.
miss it, you leave it over the pocket. I believe
Antonio.
you just got to go for this 100%.
Down to
Don't even
5
think about
seconds.
safety.
3,
What do you think about pot the
2,
black?
1. He folds.
Always. Always with the value. That's how I
Think
roll.
about safety.
We know.
Freedom dealt 50.
Look where the cue ball is.
You know who else knows? Antonio.
I think if he'd gone all out for the pot, he'd have got it.
Still for sure knew which one that was. Like, you didn't even mix them up.
Cool story, bro.
It's true.
Daniel doesn't have to mix him up. We know it's always value.
across the
Daniel
table.
doesn't really bluff rivers,
Cue ball up
which
and
means
down,
when he
trying to
does, it
cue
gets
ball.
through. I know that logic is
cushion and the
circular. It's
black
like the
on the
chicken
ball
and the
cushion.
egg, and thinking about that mostly makes me hungry.
Blinds are up to
This one.
12, 24 with an
100 times
8k
better than
ante.
his
Action
last
will be
shot.
on Antonio.
Excellent.
3-9 offsuit.
Here we go again.
He raises. Maria folds. Daniel's out.
The tension.
Phil in the big blind with
Off the
King
charts.
10.
Philip Horatio Ivey.
He defends. And once again, Antonio's opponent flops best. Phil with top pair, Antonio with second pair.
No matter how good a poker player you are, it's hard to win if you can't catch a card.
Action goes check, check, turn for free. Deuce of diamonds. Phil picks up a flush draw to go with top pair.
And he's very likely to start
Listen to
going for
this side of
value
the
now.
board. Feels like one.
He leads.
Antonio's got no choice but to pay this off.
We go to the river, and that means the cage is in play.
Loses frame. I don't know how he can come back from this.
6 of clubs.
Phil should feel pretty confident in betting this again.
Left a chance of a pot, but because it's such a thin cut to the corner, again, If he goes for it,
Here
misses
comes
the
a
pot,
chunky bet.
highly likely to leave the black over the pocket.
And here comes the value card.
He's also got to be aware.
This
of the
time,
double kiss
Antonio's got a
going
little
off in
bit
that
tougher
pocket.
decision. Phil's going to be bluffing
He's
here
choosing to
more
play the
often
black
than
up and
Daniel.
down. He's looking at the pot angle.
Going into the cage at this point would be a bigger disaster than accidentally
Cue ball's gonna be
replying all when
running
you've
wild.
been BCC'd on an email, Francine.
We laugh because it's funny, we laugh because it's true. Antonio is down to 10 seconds. 5
Cue ball's
seconds.
running wild.
He calls.
Man, Antonio's been running like he's in one of those dreams where your feet
Simply
don't move.
unbelievable.
Phil takes him to
What a
Value
pot.
Town.
What a
And to
flag.
Frown Town.
Phil now up to $1.5 million in chips.
You almost feel bad for Antonio, and then you see how many commas on his lifetime earnings, and you're like, meh.
Antonio does still hold the chip lead, but not by much.
Settle down now. Thank you.
Phil first to speak, and he's got ace-king.
If you're a believer in momentum, a decider is a certainty.
He raises. Antonio with jack-8 of clubs on the button.
He's lost the first two pots, and I don't think this one's going to go his way either.
Todd smiling.
Oh, he's getting frisky.
Robertson
Tries a
looking
little
old-fashioned. He's
re-raise.
going through the emotional
Third time
ringer.
lucky.
Maria folds. Daniel with ace-2 suited. He passes. So action back on Phil.
Well,
So we
service
know
has
it's
been
virtually
resumed.
impossible
Dot
that
breaking
Ivy's gonna
off, leaving a
fold.
red. Robertson knocking it in.
But will he do more than call?
Whatever he does, he'll do it like a boss, because he's Phil Ivey.
Oh, that's Phil Ivey.
Sigh. 10-second warning. 5 seconds.
And that's symptomatic of
Phil
the tension in
shoves.
the arm.
Hi-ya!
Nowhere near.
Most of the
wanted to do.
time, this is a fold. Fold like the wind, but Antonio's lost like 2 hands in a row, and he's probably a little frustrated. And they're suited! Straight flush draw, come on! Yeah, he should probably fold. I just like the action.
Antonio's clock is ticking. He folds. And Phil takes the chip lead. A chip lead that Antonio had held exclusively since the start of this final table.
But right now, he's getting pounded like a cheap beer on spring break.
It's not the best feeling in the world, but we've all seen crazy comebacks before. At the end of the day, it's still poker, and who knows what's going to happen.
Robertson's position is so difficult.
4 players are still in the mix in the PokerStars.com Shark Cage final.
Things like, how can I
And
lose
Phil
this
Ivey
match?
is now table boss,
How did I not
having
finish in
taken
the
the chip
red
lead from
what
Antonio
we did
Esfandiari.
3 frames ago.
It's pretty brutal because,
Did I lose
you
the
know, it
last
started
frame?
off so good. I was just coasting. I felt great. I was super confident. I made one mistake. And now Phil's a big favorite to win.
That's one way of getting rid of them.
Phil's a Denzel
Gifted.
kind of guy. The certified badass, you know?
Yeah.
Denzel's the
Another
badass.
chance.
Phil Ivey's got some old school hustle. He knows the moves, he knows how to get the reads, you know, he's an expert.
Phil is obviously enemy number 1, I think, at this table. So I'm going to try to stay away from him just a little bit.
It's actually
Facial
pretty
expressions.
close between Phil, Antonio, and Maria, with Daniel bringing up the rear. Blind still 12-24.
Just underlining the occasion.
Action folded to Daniel. Not going to play his button. Phil with ace-king again. Just calls in the small blind. Pocket 7s for Antonio.
Get out your springboard and your
Clear it
mat, because
goes.
we's about to be flipping.
At this stage, they've been a bit straighter in the black.
Goes for the raise.
Anything's
Well, if you
missable
ain't
now.
flipping, then
We've
you
just seen
must
with
be
Graham's
tripping.
Long pot.
Put your hand up on my
Possible.
chips.
More
When I
difficult to miss
flip,
it.
you flip, we flip.
That's what the pressure
Please
does.
stop.
You put your... Okay. When I flip, you flip, we flip.
Phil does know there's a shot clock, right?
Think this boss cares?
It's down to 5 seconds. And that is a re-race.
Chance is the one he had in the previous frame. because
Action
the Reds
back on Antonio.
Still need developing.
You put your hand up on my chips. When I flip, you flip, we flip.
I told you to stop.
Nevertheless,
All he's got to
Robertson
do is
grateful
get
to
it
have
in.
10-second warning.
All in.
All in and a call.
Like blondes
The shot
versus
here is to
brunettes,
go to
one
the
of these
bunch,
two
leave
hands
them
has
head
the
over the right
slight
corner pocket,
mathematical
but-
advantage.
This is the one.
I'm confident
Kinda the one
is
to
he
win.
to play that shot
Good luck, sir.
in normal
Thank you.
play, normal
You too.
conditions. That's
It's a
the
real
shot.
nail biter.
Antonio needs his 7s to hold. He's the player at risk here.
That just shows you what he's
And there's an
feeling
ace on the flop.
at the moment.
Naturally.
He is a natural, a real wonder boy.
Antonio
Chance.
now
We've got
needs
them
a 7.
here again off the red, but doing it now,
That was fun.
good chance in a lot to luck.
Yeah.
Finishing on
2
the color.
outs. And he needs to hit on the river.
There's still hope.
A 5% chance of survival. The river is a deuce.
Good luck.
applause, please, for Antonio Spandiari.
Good luck.
Situation.
Gonna finish the short cage.
Good luck, Hal.
opportunity. to
He
see
held the chip
obstacle.
lead for so long.
Why don't you please win?
I don't think any of us expected him to go in 4th place.
You know, it started off so good. I decided I was just gonna run good today.
Such a fun
I was
play.
playing pretty aggro because
3 reds to the left.
second
of the
doesn't
bunch. He's
matter.
playing for the top one.
You gotta get all the
Right in the
chips
pocket.
or go home. So I was just trying to get all the chips. You get it in and pray to God that an ace doesn't come. But it's Phil Ivey, you know, for sure it's gonna be an ace or a king. I mean, you can't fade that. That was fun. You know, I ran good, I picked up a lot of hands, but when it really counted, I did not run so good.
Geez, is there an address where people can send their cards and letters?
Well, there you go, huh?
Yeah.
That little pep talk I gave you on the break.
It's just seen problems
too good a
everywhere
friend sometimes.
at the moment. Neil Robertson.
Build
It's
you
pretty
up.
straightforward.
It's a single
Safety
big blind
shots
for Maria on
come
this
half
hand.
ball of the red is pointing
You were
to
down in the dumps.
Now he's thinking,
Phil was like, "Oh
I'm
no,
gonna stick
man,
a
I just
red
made a
over
big
the right corner
mistake.
pocket."
Finish." I was like, "No, Phil, you can do this." Look what I did. Created a monster.
in the end,
Created a monster.
it's a pretty good shot, you have to say.
Seasons in a row. Finals. Nobody cares.
He doesn't care how he wins
All
this
that
now.
pretty money sitting out there.
Neil Robertson
Nobody
doesn't
wanted
need to
it.
be pretty
That
anymore.
means first gets the whole
Just get the
enchilada,
W.
right?
It's just dawned on me with 3 players remaining, the cage is out of play. 2 years in a row, no cage action in the final.
It's more cheddar to the eventual winner.
And this
this
hand
man,
going to go
we'll just
in
not
the
leave him
tank with
alone.
Daniel. We'll only see his whole
Just
cards,
won't
which
leave him
are
alone.
7-5. He's called. Phil, who now has a ridiculous chip lead, calls out of the small blind.
Interesting limp by us like
beneficial
Verbal
kiss, which I
Kint.
think we can
Hopefully
say
we'll
that
get
is.
away with it.
Not the
Like
best, though.
Verbal Kint.
Maria has checked her option. We're
over the
going
brown.
3-way to the flop.
Too close to the brown ring.
Queen 6-4. Up and down straight draw for Daniel.
That's about as good a flop as we could hope for.
Yeah, if he hasn't got a good angle,
Plus, we're Daniel. We're going to get there.
I'm going to say this, but rolling up
Phil
behind the brown
bets
is not a
out.
bad play. The way the reds are split,
Maria folds.
very difficult to get safe.
I like calling here. Sometimes Phil will give up and we can steal it. Sometimes we'll hit our hand.
Daniel does call. The turn card is a 7.
Longer
Second pair for Daniel to go with that straight
delay's
draw.
going for a pot. I believe the less likely is
Phil checks.
then a good shot.
I think we should probably just check. I
Looks
think
like
we
it's
should
a
probably
pot.
just bet. I meant to say bet.
Daniel does
Bottom
bet.
angle.
And what's Phil thinking?
He's thinking, what's this guy got? What's this guy over here got? He got me beat?
Correct.
Oh,
Shot.
Phil's
Nice
check
angle on the
raised.
brown.
And that's why I was going to opt
Automatically.
for a check there.
And down towards the reds.
We can't really
Travel a little
fold
bit
this, I don't
further.
think. The problem is if we can and don't improve when we face Phil's bet on the river, we'll be in a real spot.
Time ticking away for Daniel. 10 seconds left to make a decision. He
Feel the
elects to
pressure.
call.
Like there was ever any doubt what Daniel was
It's
going to
almost
do.
like you've got no
The river
control.
card is the 7 of hearts. Trips for Daniel,
your
but
arm.
it does put a potential flush out there.
Well, what was I thinking? We're Daniel Negreanu. We're Kid Poker. Documentary coming soon. Of course we're going to improve. Problem is that Phil could have been raising us on the turn with a flush draw. Easily.
Yeah.
His stomach churns.
10 seconds. 5 seconds. And there's a bet from Phil.
Last time we played against Phil, I was dead certain we should call, and I was dead wrong. In this spot, I think he's going to have us beat a lot.
Snooker players watching this match and just enjoying these two
Well, I got
suffering
one-legged laundry
under the
clerk.
pressure.
I am leaning toward a fold.
But they would all wish they were here. Believe me on that.
Daniel is down to 10 seconds.
I need a time.
He plays a time bank chip.
The one thing we got going for us is that I don't think Phil expects us to have a 7 very often. He could be trying to bluff us off a worse hand. But Phil knows how much Daniel loves to call, and Daniel knows Phil knows that.
I feel like you have full house.
If he's left the
You got
edge of
queen
the red
7.
next to the black.
This is
that's
basically
disappointing.
old poison wine routine.
I don't think I can fold it.
Daniel calls.
Ace queen.
Phil claims to have ace queen, but he doesn't. He was bluffing with jack 8.
Ivy's fallen victim to one of the classic blunders.
Ace queen, huh? Okay. This is Ivy style. Ace queen or 8-9, whatever. I don't remember. 500, huh?
Daniel takes a decent chunk of Phil's stack and takes the chip lead.
Never get involved in a land war in Asia, and never go in against Negreanu when you expect him to fold the river.
Good safety shot.
Line's now 15,000, 30,000 with a 10,000 ante.
Graham may have to pop himself out of trouble here.
King 9 suited for Phil. Raising the button. Maria with jack 10 in the small blind. She's now the
see
shortest
how
stack
we can
at the
get safe.
table. She
Four
calls.
reds in a line, the one to the extreme right.
75 is a total.
Correct.
One he might have to
Daniel
pop.
getting a great price, but he's way behind.
King 3 of diamonds. 3-way to the flop. Which is 7-6-6. So Phil had the best hand pre-flop, and he has the best hand post-flop with King 9 high.
Everyone's checked to the razor.
He checks behind. Double paired board now.
The king highs are
See the red
chopping
that's
this.
touching the black. I suppose he could play.
And I don't
dead
think
weight
anyone can bet it.
just off the left-hand side of that and leave the cue ball in the
It
jaws
checks
of his
around
right
again.
hand corner pocket.
Queen
Pretty
on the
safe.
river. So if this goes to showdown, Daniel and Phil will chop
Touching the
this
table,
pot.
you know, a delicate touch, and at this stage,
But it might
under this
not go to
pressure,
showdown. Maria, Maria, Maria,
Horrible
you
shots
cheeky
after
little
play.
monkey.
She bets.
Here's the one that I thought he was going to have to play.
I think
He's lining
Daniel
up.
lets this go.
Oh, what a shot this is.
No!
Think again. He raises.
The rare
This could be the match here,
Negreanu
Phil.
River bluff raise.
And he gets a fold
again,
from the
but
guy he was
it's
chopping
round
with.
Though technically
hold
he's
of the line.
bluffing with the best hand, which means Maria can't even call. She can jammity, 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 jam, but it seems unlikely.
Oh boy, did he hit it well. And he's got very, very lucky.
Yeah, she lets it go.
Well, maybe the cue ball has just travelled far enough. He's left the red to the right corner.
What are you talking
I
about?
thought he got away with it for a
What do you mean
second
bluff,
there.
Yeah, that
Phil?
was a bluff. That one was a
See,
bluff.
this is not easy.
Why, what did you see? You saw something
And
different?
nothing's easy.
Makes you think it was a
Moment.
bluff?
I just thought it was
I gotta
a
know. I gotta know.
I
what
just
you're
thought that
trying
one was a
No,
bluff.
I gotta know too. Tell me what you know.
Well, you tune in and watch Shark Cage, and you'll find out.
They need to know!
Gotta hand it to Phil Ivey. His read on Daniel there was pretty solid.
What makes Phil Ivey so great is his ability to read people. He knows, for the most part, when I'm trying to run a big bluff. It's rare.
The second
It was a
red
bluff,
for
wasn't it,
position
Danny?
on the
What are you
colour.
talking
It
about?
was a bluff.
And I made my one big bluff, and he's like, "You bluffed that one, didn't you?" I'm like, "What do you mean bluff, Phil?"
Yeah, that was a bluff. That one was a bluff.
How the heck does he know everything?
I think this type of shot.
Dear
you just don't
Daniel, you were
overthink
not
it.
bluffing. You had the best
Whatever
hand the
these
entire
three ball
time.
colours you decide
Love
to
the
play.
internet.
Getting the cue ball tight in that bolt
I got
cushion
more than you.
is a
Daniel
priority.
poking Phil.
I got more than he does. Yeah, I got the most. Yay.
Daniel's like the only guy on the planet that can get away with this.
Poking. Line still 15-30.
Looking back to the Champion of Champions final in November.
King Jack suited for
On the
Phil.
brink of
He
defeat
raises.
against Jim Trent. Pulled that one out of the fire. Is it going to be
Maria folds.
roll
Daniel
reverse
has
for the season?
6-5.
No choice. Can't fold it. Gotta see a flop in the big blind.
There's the call. So it's Daniel versus Phil again. And Daniel flops trips.
Ha!
8
Check.
of hearts, 6 of spades, 6 of hearts, check.
I don't see Phil
Again.
falling for this.
This time, is there even a
Check,
pot
check.
to get himself
A
out of
king
trouble?
on the turn.
Now I see him falling for it a little.
There's one. You can see it.
Daniel leads. Phil now with top
I
pair.
raised the one to the right.
Even if you think Daniel has a 6, you can't just go folding top pair.
He calls. The river is a jack.
Wow, Daniel is running better than Prefontaine.
Daniel value bets his trips. Phil forced to call with top 2.
Nope.
65 for trip 6s. Phil shows King Jack for top 2. Daniel's trip 6s takes 5.
Good call, good call.
Cue ball off the
Good
black
thing you didn't
cushion.
raise. That was smart.
A little
You know what
touch
you're
on the
doing.
left-hand side. The red that's nearest the pink spot. Try and flick
Smart
that
kid, this
on the
one.
left-hand side going up and
I just,
take the cue ball
that's
back
how
to
I
the
play. I've
bulk
been
end.
doing it a long time.
He wouldn't mind missing it completely the first time.
Yeah, I want to learn it.
You do?
I do.
Okay, I'm going to
Thick.
teach you. Very, very difficult.
Oh, what a shot.
But I think
What
you're
a
capable
shot.
of understanding the depth and how you hit
Brilliant.
That book would be a bestseller.
flops. Imagine how I would do if I didn't hit flops. Oh my God, I'd never win
Yeah,
anything,
yeah.
ever.
A chance of a pot to the right corner, but that was brilliant from Graham Dock.
should have folded. So obvious you have a 6. Got 350. You ever gonna have like
See? It happens to everybody, even Phil Ivey.
So Daniel Negreanu's good fortune continues. Well, if you want to compete against the best in the game, you could join us in Monaco next year. Qualify for the EPT at PokerStars.com. Here at the PokerStars.com Shark Cage final table, Daniel Negreanu's master plan is working.
I'm playing tight, huh? You notice that? It's all part of my big plan.
you're gonna loosen up at the end when it matters most.
That's right.
But with Phil nipping at his heels
Again.
and Maria hanging on in there, it ain't gonna be a walk in the park.
Oh, brilliant pot. Brilliant pot.
Maybe change to 25.
Please.
Thank you.
Was it you that told me that story about how Phil didn't know who Jonathan
Yes.
Duhamel was after he
It was
won
on
the
TV,
main?
I think. He's like, hi. He's like, what's
I
your name?
would've-
He's like,
There's
Jonathan.
nothing
And I was like,
easy.
he won the main event. And you were like, oh, congratulations.
I would have taken
to
any
rest.
amount of money that Phil didn't know my name until like maybe a couple months ago.
Really?
If that's the side I would have for
Actually,
sure.
I think you're right.
I don't know. A
Bounty
few
cannon.
like this summer,
First of the
basically.
3 reds in a line.
No, not a few months ago.
So
But
just trusting the luck.
when would you?
Just make sure you're.
Like I think my line was
name
left.
last
Just
year.
playing
You
the
know your
next
name
shot,
last
whatever
year. There you
happens.
go.
Right. And
you
I
settle
didn't even
for
have to
that.
win a main event.
He knows your name.
I don't have a big certificate. I made it. I made it. Phil knew my name last year.
One time, Phil, Daniel, and I went out, and me and Phil carried a passed-out Daniel to his
Thinking
hotel
logically,
room together, and the
it could
next
be
day he
over.
called me
But
Jason.
after what's
Cool
already
story,
occurred,
Jason. Blinds 15-30.
foolish to think
Maria is the short stack. King 9.
All in.
She shoves. Daniel folds. Phil with ace-6. Calls.
Phil calls. He has
Phil's got
ace-6 against
Maria's
king
got
9.
King 9.
I'm pretty sure both of you did this correctly. According to the...
Maria's the 9 of spades, the king of clubs.
Chart.
I only
Phil
know
has
Shad
6 of
chart. I don't
hearts
know
and
Paul's
the ace of
chart.
spades.
So Maria at risk and behind.
Phil, do you remember
Needs
that
to spot
time
it.
like 3 people ago
It's
when your
the
tournament life
degree
was
of
on the line
difficulty always,
Yeah.
against
do.
me? Feel
especially
like
if you're imparting any kind
kind
of
of a
pace into the cue ball.
return the favor
fair.
type deal.
Give you a
I'm
shot.
good at returning favors.
And want It's not going to be
That's what
flipped
she
on.
said.
You can miss the easiest
Get it?
ball.
Why cut to his mom?
I do.
That's what I meant the
Daniel.
first time.
I know you did. I'm just helping the people at
You're a
home.
sick man.
Helping the people at home. Who
Got
knows?
issues.
Look at that smile.
You having fun, are you, Daniel?
Yeah. Aren't you?
Yeah.
It's fun. She will be if you win.
I've had fun no matter what, but I do want to win this.
Very good, but on the incorrect side of the
that might
blue.
She wins his hand.
Let's not
she'll
get it
be having
twisted. I
fun.
do
what I said.
want to win this pot, but I have
King or
had
nine
fun.
comes. Oh, party time. Shots.
Phil gives absolutely zero fudges.
The flop is pretty much all Phil.
The chart says lots of turns have Maria drawing dead.
Really good flop for Phil.
Phil's the only player with
Heart.
a heart.
You are sharp.
I know. See how fast I
Leading
figured
with
that out?
ace.
You don't need a chart.
Maria looking for a king or a 9. 7 of hearts on the turn. Reduces Maria's out.
Top two.
Well, he somehow
I
found
can't decide if
his
the
pot
king
and
of
boots
spades
again.
is coming on the river or the
Excellent
9.
long red and
Yeah, you're between those two.
good shots being played here.
It's a good coin flip if those are the two.
Maria
Something
being
what he's
swept
been
by her
through, especially
boyfriend
in the last
Luke or
frame.
Glenn or no, I don't know, some boy
It's a
band
great
name.
effort.
Maria's tournament life on the line. The all-important river card is a 7. She's out in third.
Does that mean no
Round
shots?
of applause, please, for Maria Ho. Finished struggling.
Down off the spot.
Place.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, son.
Every
Good
pot
boss.
that Neil's
Play some
missed
poker.
today has been thin.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't
It's
it?
been a while. Have we ever been heads up in a tournament? I don't think
No,
so.
you always get knocked out before that.
You have to come forth, right?
16th
Different.
frame, you led
You don't know how to
30-0.
deal with me heads up now.
The Reds were
Whole
there.
new ball game.
You missed an easier round than
Nervous.
that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Considerably easier.
So close, but ho so far.
One.
I really enjoyed this experience, but I wanted to get to the heads up part where I could really
Well,
battle it
keep
out
going, yeah.
and test myself against the best in the world. I made it. Phil knew my name last year. To play with so many elite players, if anything, I wouldn't say I won $966,000 worth of experience, but like I won maybe like $50,000 worth of experience today from them.
So we just concentrate on the pot. The positional side of it should take care of itself.
This is the first time Phil Ivey and I have ever been heads up for any tournament.
Played Daniel plenty of times head up, just not in the tournament.
He knows my game back and forth. I know his game as well, because we've been playing together for so many years. I know what he likes to do. He knows what I like to do.
It's a winner-take-all event. I know I need to make a comeback. I'm up against a very tough player.
I like my situation, but I mean, it's Phil Ivey, so it's not like I'll be able to cruise to victory. I'm going to have to make some hands.
Trusted to luck a little
Can you
bit.
believe we've got Negreanu versus Ivy heads up?
Pretty sick.
Whatever you need, Phil, you can have.
But the position
give him the
on
button, it's
walls,
okay.
a 29-point lead here.
I have the chip
He's
lead.
really
It's
used
fine.
That's a miracle in itself.
green safe, black
Played
safe.
solid.
2 of
Tight
the
as
3
right.
red safe.
Played great.
You guys were getting in there, gambling up, whatever. And I just, plug along.
Plug along, wait for me to dump $1 million to you.
You know
knew it was
what's
gonna
gonna happen. You can't help yourself.
I couldn't.
Eventually, you're gonna do it.
This is history, ladies and gentlemen. This is like the De Niro Pacino restaurant scene in Heat. And Phil Ivey, great ass!
Blinds are still 15-30. Phil raising his button with 9-6.
Cool.
Daniel's in with ace-4 of clubs.
Daniel starting off with the best of it like we would expect, but heads up, things can get a little weird.
3 of hearts.
Check.
9 of diamonds.
Daniel's
Straight
still with
check.
the best hand. Here comes a bet from Phil. And Daniel check raises.
And I don't think this is really a bluff. I think he knows he's raising with the best hand.
Tempted, if I was Neil, to try and fit
Phil
this red
calls.
to the right middle.
That is a weird float. Phil's probably got a
Go
trick
back
or
to
two up
somewhere
his
near where it
sleeve.
is now,
Or maybe this was the plan. Hit a 6 on the
I
turn.
think.
Yeah, one of
He
those
missed it.
tricks was to peel a 6, I guess.
There's every chance you wouldn't leave a pot on.
Daniel now checks.
Phil's going to be pretty confident he's got the best hand since Daniel would probably never actually raise a queen.
Phil bets. Roughly half pot.
If Daniel calls here, he's probably prepared to call river too.
He does call.
Brought the cue ball back to the left
The river
side of
card
the table. He's left a pot for
is
Graham,
an 8, so Phil with the best of it.
but where that red's that Neil attempted
Daniel checks.
finished, too risky. So bringing the only safe red into play.
And Phil bets.
This is awesome.
I don't have that good a hand. So I don't have that good a hand, but I don't know. I felt like he was going to try to make a goofy
For
move.
the moment, one of
So I might pay him.
Robertson's safety nets has been cut out.
400?
Yes.
Trying to say you have a queen, sir? When do you have, how do you, you're going to learn my trick, how to flop
I
trips?
lost my screen.
I don't know. Okay.
Daniel calls.
You're right.
And Phil takes the chip lead.
You son of a gun. I played good. Kinda. Except you got there. I check raised, queen, queen, 3. He calls with 6-9 because he thinks he's going to outplay me. That's what this kid's doing.
I would bet more if I
Huh?
missed.
Yeah,
I'd have
whatever.
bet the
Because I
pot.
don't fold.
I'd have bet the pot.
So?
They want you to done.
Call. I have an ace.
Phil really knew where he was at in the hand. Fantastic value bet.
I had him. Queen, queen, 3. Check raise. Call. 6-9. Okay.
That's the kind of game he's playing.
Yeah, I see
Looked
that.
like he played the pot.
Like the Pacquiao Mayweather fight. Right.
Yeah, that's what this is.
That's what it's
He's
like.
quite lucky.
You know,
At the
I do
ground,
like
stopped the
Floyd.
cue ball coming
Move.
back
Check, check,
closer
check.
to the
That don't
reds.
look like Floyd to me.
Huh? No. Can't hit him.
This is better than the Pacquiao Mayweather fight because someone's actually going to win this, and it didn't cost $50 to watch it.
Right now, Phil has the advantage, and the blinds are up to 20,000, 40,000. 8-7 for Daniel.
The red will go
90,000.
He raises.
Horrible blind cutbacks.
Ace Queen suited for Phil.
Inviting
Oh, really
in the
now?
first frame, let alone
He's re-raised.
what might be the last.
So he did.
And he's got by far the best of it.
Okay.
Daniel calls.
Could be a good one.
The flop. Sees Daniel pair as 8.
Daniel's back to his old tricks again. Not even a club out there for Phil.
Phil continues. Daniel's all in.
You don't want to know. 4. You got another 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.6, 50 ace high. I mean, that's your hand, sorry.
1 point what?
1.65.
Looks like Phil's calling.
Got ace
I was
high?
thinking,
Yeah.
please go over a
Phil
pocket.
calls.
Of course. I mean, I got
But it refused to.
Daniel, a 3-1 favorite to double up here.
Daniel's in the lead with a pair of 8s.
That's correct.
But he needs to dodge aces and queens.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Neither one of these guys got to where they are today by being unlucky, that's for sure.
If Phil
That's the
hits,
red.
it's all
Pot
over.
it. Should he pot this red into the green
The
pocket?
turn card.
Take the cue ball
It's a
across that
9.
left side cushion.
Daniel now an 86% favorite. Phil still looking for an ace or a queen for the win.
Yeah.
Amazing
All in.
this pressure. Just struggle
Yeah.
to find the bottom point on the object ball.
Now, no ace, no queen. He win.
You hear his accent? Do it.
Yeah, he's very good.
Oh, God.
I have pair, 8. He is no pair, ace high. I told him, ace high, call anyway. I say, you ace high. He say, call.
Not yet.
See?
Maybe ace or queen come.
Phil, but if you give me,
Points ahead.
but if you give me 1,000, Daniel lose.
36
That's it?
points
You my
ahead.
favorite.
And the
Okay.
red
You could be
Okay.
bought.
can
You could be
get on
bought.
to the right
His
middle.
bot, his allegiance.
Daniel, sorry.
Okay.
Never heard of a Russian accepting a bribe.
The river
Boom.
is a 6.
Says boom. Full house. Full house. 1.65 million because I got a full house. And he's got ace high over there.
If you do
Yeah.
lose.
Champion over here. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Card's breaking even a little bit.
Daniel now a monster chip leader.
I like playing with you. It's fun.
You
It's a lot
enjoying
more.
it? You enjoying
Now
it?
I'm enjoying it way more than I was like a little while ago, when you were just betting, raising me all the time.
A little shot there.
Okay.
Blue safe.
Man, nobody makes Phil Ivey
Sold this
smile
red
like
again.
Daniel. Nobody male, at least.
Can't see. How much are you playing about?
Graham Dot.
Not as much as I was.
Oh, yeah, you don't have that much.
Yeah, I don't.
What did you rate?
Yes, he did with ace 3. Daniel, king deuce.
After what occurred in the
He's in.
previous frame.
Well, it is
Not
suited.
anything for
And
granted.
there's no point
Complacency,
3-betting. He'll likely just
word
get jammed on by better.
does not exist.
The flop.
Pink to put himself in exactly the same
8
position.
trade deuce pairs for both players.
It could all go in here. No.
Phil bets.
Lightning can strike twice here.
Daniel calls. The turn card is another 3 trips for Phil.
And Daniel is drawing deed.
He bets again.
And this time it's not
That
just
tray
the
ball's a
snookers
great
which
card
are
for Phil because I
formidable
don't think
enough to
Daniel's
get.
going to be too scared of it.
It's the fact that should he get them? Look at the
Yeah.
green, look at the blue, look at the
Calls
black.
again. We go to the river,
It's a
which is
gargantuan
another 8,
task
counterfeiting Daniel's
on this
deuces.
for Graham Dott.
He's checked for a 3rd time.
He's looking at me funny.
Bring it on down to Valueville.
All in.
All in.
All in.
Phil shoved.
That card didn't help me. Maybe it
At
did.
least the black's out.
You trying to bluff me?
No.
Whatever. Go ahead.
Daniel folds.
Had the other pair.
Deuces.
Good kicker, though. You bluff that one?
Of course not.
It's true, unless you folded an 8, he did not bluff that one.
Well, I just can't believe
Maybe
this.
that card saved me money.
And Neil can't
Yes,
say
it
that.
did.
Yeah? You had an 8? Wow.
Nope.
You got a 3.
Yep.
Lucky me.
The deck let you escape.
Escape from state penitentiary, Ivy.
Some
Okay, let's
consecutive
take a
frames
break.
weren't after
Probably
players
a good
required
idea.
a snooker, but I don't think I've ever seen
Daniel or Phil for the win.
where
Hashtag Shark Cage.
consecutive frames have been won when player requires multiple snookers. Just tuning in. Last frame, Robertson, they got it won. Dodd needed a couple of snookers.
We're making history on the PokerStars.com Shark Cage. For the first time ever, Daniel Negreanu and Phil Ivey are heads up in a poker tournament.
Repeat itself.
I feel like for all the poker fans and for all the poker enthusiasts out there, like this is the best outcome possible.
Daniel is the chip leader right now,
Tactic.
but you can never discount Philip Horatio Ivey.
Writing off Ivy would be like trying to write off Botox on your taxes. It's a mistake, and it's going to leave you looking a little bewildered.
Blinds 20-40 with a 15k ante. Daniel at roughly a 5-1 chip advantage. Action on Phil, Queen 7.
The computer hand. I'm going to talk like a computer. I'm a computer. Okay, I'm going to stop
Dodd
talking like a
reels
computer.
away from the table.
A call
He suspects.
and a check. And
That could
top
be that.
pair for Daniel, second pair for Phil.
Not a good hand for a guy who's up against it like Phil. Hard to get away from a pair like a hot girlfriend who treats you bad.
Daniel bets, Phil calls.
He's been waiting to exhale.
Turn card with a 3. Daniel checks. Phil bets. Quickly called by Daniel.
Yeah, Phil can't love
It's
that
just
quick call.
relief, Stephen.
6
That's
on
all
the
it
river,
is.
2 pair for
Relief,
Daniel.
pure and simple.
2 pair.
2 pair good.
There.
You had that? No, you
Now the game's easy again.
Nope.
Queen 8?
Nope.
Wow. He shows the queen. He didn't show no 8.
What else do I have, Daniel?
I don't know. Phil, I don't know
Come
what
on.
else do you have?
What do I play?
You play 6-9 on a
have to say
queen 3 flop for
commiserations to
check
Graham
raise.
Dott. What a
I do
contribution he's made
remember
to this
that.
I was
match.
going to outplay you.
Well, apparently.
And on the day, the best player won.
It would all felt
It was a
different to you
cracking contest
if I missed the 6.
with a twist in the tail.
I would have made it
But in the
feel
end,
You made
the
it
Pole
feel
World
good.
Grand Prix champion is Neil Robertson.
That's the thing you don't know.
But only just at 10-8. I can tell you this.
I want
in all his
more.
life, he's never felt relief quite like this.
You are amazing.
That's the thing I don't know. Huh? Okay.
Daniel with the Ivy hand.
90.
9-6.
I think the Ivy hand is 6-9, James.
And Phil has queen 7 again.
I'm not gonna talk like a computer.
And Phil flops top pair. Daniel with a gut shot straight draw. Bets.
Phil might finally get some back here. Or Daniel can continue running like Secretariat.
He's got all kinds of tricks. He does that to see what I do with my eyes and stuff. He does it. I gotta stop looking. Oh no. You know I had garbage. You win. He does this. So that little Scotty wins. He used to do that all the time. Half like this. Voodoo.
It's one way to keep Daniel from sucking out on him.
Nice run there, Jerome.
Thanks, good folks.
So have you check raised your mom before when you guys play poker?
Not yet.
Alright.
Sounds like an insult.
Careful. Blinds are now 25,000 and 50,000 with a 15,000 ante. Phil's got 8-9. He raises. Daniel with a pair of 7s. That's a re-raise.
I like the 3-bet. Daniel doesn't mind getting in with 2 7s here, but I don't see Phil folding 9 high either. Way too likely to be live.
He calls in position. The flop is king 8-7, a pair for Phil, but a set for Daniel. Daniel checks.
Huh.
Phil checks behind.
Both playing it slow, but Daniel's playing it slow here.
Turn card is a 5, giving Phil a straight draw.
Now that Phil's got a legit draw, it makes it even less likely that he's gonna fold.
Daniel bets. No shots!
I call.
And Daniel calls!
Set good.
This could be it!
Oh, I win. Oh no, you need a 6. Never mind. I didn't win nothing. But I'm in good shape right now. My head.
Best shape of his life.
Phil needs a 6.
Don't do it to us. We got some drinking to do.
4 cards Ivy can hit.
Something tells me Team Ivy's not exactly worried where their next meal's coming from.
It's okay. He'll be fine. Maybe he's in good hands.
Doesn't look like their first rodeo.
You don't want to win like that anyway, catching a 6. Huh? You don't care, right? Just however it happens. That would be dirty. He won't. He doesn't want to win that way. He'd throw it back. If a 6 comes, he'd just throw it back.
I sure would.
He'd be like, you know what? No, I don't want it. I can't win like that. Bad for my reputation.
The only thing that's bad for Phil's reputation is how much smiling he's been doing. Isn't that right, you little cutie pie?
The river card is a 10. Daniel takes it down.
Applause for both of these fantastic.
1-0. Whoa!
Hey, Phil, the bad news is you gotta sweep that up.
Look at this.
Read the fine print, brother.
Yay! What's that? No, I know. Sober. I'm gonna. Thank you. It was fun. We had fun. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Boo! She says boo. You don't mean it.
I do.
No, only a little bit. He came second. That's pretty good. That's almost as good as first.
Good for $0.
It's right up there. Yeah, exactly.
Guess what, Daniel? The taxes on $1 million are outrageous.
Congratulations to Daniel. Commiserations to Phil.
Yeah, where the party at? No, seriously, where is it? I want to go.
I feel good. It was a lot of fun. Shark Cage is exactly what poker's supposed to be. Competition, fun, and some high-level poker as well. Win it? It's pretty awesome.
I feel okay. I had a chance to win $1 million. It didn't work out this time, but there's always the next one.
It was really fun playing heads up with Phil Ivey. From a historic perspective, To have a matchup, myself versus him, is what we've done in the game for the last 20 years. It's pretty epic.
It was fun and exciting to play Daniel heads up. He's one of my good friends, and other than when he's playing me, I'm always rooting for him.
My intention was to win, and that's exactly what I did.